He lasted until the 6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense.
Picture this scene in Miami, bright lights, a packed arena, and Jake Paul standing across the ring from a 243-pound Olympic gold medalist who has spent his entire life perfecting how to knock people out. For years, critics said Jake lived inside a bubble, carefully matched against retired MMA fighters and athletes who didn't truly understand boxing. But on Friday night, that safety bubble disappeared. When Anthony Joshua's right hand finally landed in the 6th round, it wasn't just damage, it was a system collapse. Jake's eyes went blank, his jaw slack, frozen in disbelief. In that instant, influencer boxing stopped feeling like entertainment and started feeling painfully real. By the time Jake hit the canvas for the 4th and final time, the event had
This is the worst defense in boxing. Jake fires his signature overhand right while dropping his left hand. Although the shot lands clean, Joshua takes it well and goes to counter with his own right. But Jake completely crosses his arms, leaving himself wide open for the counter. So Joshua makes him pay with a right that hurt.
Most fans think a knockout ends the story. For Jake Paul, it was only the beginning. Once the camera shut off and the massive paychecks were locked in, reality hit hard. Jake wasn't simply hurt, his jaw was broken in 2 different places. This wasn't something you shake off backstage. He was rushed to the hospital where surgeons literally bolted his face back together using titanium plates. Missing teeth, swelling, a strict liquid-only diet for days. No talking, no celebrating, just pain. It's easy to talk tough about being a fighter online. It's a whole different thing when you're forced to sip every meal through a straw because a former heavyweight champion collapsed your face.
The doctor says I may not be able to eat solid food again. He also advised I stop talking shit I can't flush.
What surprised people almost as much as the injury was the reaction from boxing insiders. On Inside the Ring, Kellerman and Malik Scott didn't pile on Jake Paul. Instead, they dissected his mindset. Kellerman, who's watched every great fighter for decades, refused to dismiss Jake as a joke. He described him as delusional in the most powerful way possible. In Max's eyes, Jake lives inside his own belief system, completely detached from what logic says he should or shouldn't be capable of. He compared him to a fictional hero who refuses to accept reality's limits. And when you actually break down what happened in the fight,
I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing.
Yes.
And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight, because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, you're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson, or a tiny Tank Davis, or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in, that captures your imagination. Watch this. I'll put myself on the short side of that.
Yes.
I'll get in and fight. It's not about who's bigger, who's smaller, who's older, who's younger. It's about what is a compelling event. By the way, whether or not you agree with that, I don't 100% agree with that way of thinking, but that's his way of thinking. He did it again, and I gotta take my hat off to him. I was amazed that he was able to get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua.
here's the stat that shocked everyone. Before that bone-crushing right hand ended the fight, Jake Paul was actually landing more clean headshots than Anthony Joshua. Think about that. A guy who started boxing on YouTube was tagging a 2-time heavyweight world champion. That's why the panel was split. Shady McCoy didn't hold back, calling Joshua's performance sloppy and underwhelming. For 5 rounds, AJ looked tense and hesitant. He missed 98 of the 146 punches he threw. No sharp feints, no pressure, no ring control. He looked like a man fighting with invisible chains on his shoulders, terrified.
From both guys from round 1. Jake was very mobile. I mean, he had the happy feet going. He was circling around the outside of the ring. He was not looking to engage in elongated combinations. He was not looking to stand in the center of the ring with AJ, and people are going to say Jake ran from AJ, and you're right. Because guess why? He absolutely had to. Again, talked about this in the build-up to the fight. He had to be mobile. He had to be on his bike. So yes, you're justified in saying Jake ran from him because he had to. He had to. And anybody that convinced themselves that Jake was going to walk to the center of the ring, stand in the phone booth with AJ, and trade punches until someone laid flat, you were lying to yourself, or you convinced yourself of something you saw in the promo. This was always going to be the way the fight went. I wasn't surprised at all that this is the way that Jake started and pretty much fought the entire time. I was a bit surprised that AJ didn't assert himself earlier. Now, again, it is very hard to hurt someone that doesn't want to engage in a continuous fight. Round one, very much a feeling out process for AJ. Didn't really look like he did much, but Jake didn't either. There was one right hand that AJ landed in the first round that shook Jake up. That's the danger that was coming for Jake.
Kellerman believes he knows exactly why Joshua looked that way. He calls it the specter of disaster. If AJ knocks Jake out instantly, people shrug and say, of course he did. But if he gets clipped by one wild punch and loses, his entire legacy is torched overnight. That fear can paralyze even elite athletes. It turned Joshua into a cautious shadow of the fighter who went to war with Vladimir Klitschko in 2017. He spent so much energy trying not to embarrass himself that he forgot how to dominate. It took him 6 full rounds to finish a job that a hungry prospect like
from the beginning to now, he has got better and better and
Absolutely,
better. And then another thing is, like, we keep forgetting that he's supposed to fight Gervonta Davis, and that happened fast.
Gervonta wouldn't have stopped
But
him.
hold on, and now you fighting Anthony Joshua?
Yes.
Like, so now you
And
go
also,
from
don't forget that was an exhibition too. That would have been.
But I'm saying, like, the
Yes,
game plan to
the
fight a guy that's
Gervonta one.
5'5"
Yes.
has to change drastically to fight a 6'6" heavyweight champ. Like, give him credit for that too.
And by choice, Shady.
But the problem with you I'm having with right now, Matt, and you letting go off the hook, Anthony Joshua to be a heavyweight champ, the way y'all talk about him,
Shady's right.
he looks terrible.
I have to say,
and when
Shady's right.
Tyson Fury puts his hands on him, I can't wait.
Shady's right this time. I give Shady a lot of crap on the show about Joshua. I was disappointed. That wasn't
embarrassing.
I don't think
he
so.
He couldn't cut off the ring. Right? That's concerning.
No
I
feints.
understand it's a bigger ring, right? It's 22 by 22. No feints. He's right. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying Joshua went easy on him. I don't think so.
No,
I think
I don't
Joshua
think
was
so.
trying.
Look at Jake's face. You think he went easy?
I don't think he went easy.
He would have left the broken jaw out.
That's as dumb as the people who show you, like, Mike Tyson throwing the right hand that he stopped saying Mike was not trying to hurt Jake Paul.
Right.
When in fact, all boxing fans who know what they were looking at were very grateful that Jake didn't hurt Mike in that fight, right?
I agree.
AJ is a different story. This is what I would say about AJ's performance. There was supposed to maybe be another fight between now and the Tyson Fury fight as a tune-up. Were I advising AJ, I would cancel that fight. No fights.
Immediately.
No more fights until you because
There's no telling what happened type of thing.
There's no telling.
Even Malik Scott, a lifelong boxing purist and elite trainer, had to eat his words. He came into the fight convinced Jake didn't belong anywhere near a ring with Joshua. But watching Jake get up from 3 knockdowns with a shattered jaw changed his perspective. Malik pointed out that Jake didn't fold. He stayed conscious. He stayed defiant. There's a viral moment of Jake spitting blood onto the canvas, trying to process the fact that his face was broken. He wasn't begging for help. He wasn't looking for a way out. There was almost pride in his eyes. You can't coach that kind of toughness. And according to Malik, that's the moment Jake fought
him.
No question. I mean, the fact that he would fight for a cruiserweight world title, he's fought, now he has had 3 real professional fights against guys around his size.
Chavez.
One of them was I'm not even talking about Chavez because he was old and came back. I mean, guys who are active fighters. He lost to Tommy Fury, and then he beat 2 guys in Florida in smaller events. But they were active fighters with winning records, okay? So on those 3 cruiserweight fights, he wants a cruiserweight title shot. Now, he'll get it if he wants it because he means a lot of money.
Money up.
Do you think he's ready to fight for a cruiserweight title, Malik?
In 4 or 5 fights, yes I do.
Right, he needs another 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Now,
4 or
but
5.
the danger is just like with AJ, he could lose in one of those 4 or 5 fights.
I don't think so. I don't think so because the matchmaking, they've been doing a great job at that. The first chance he took was against Anthony Joshua. Look how he did. Shady, he did incredible.
By the way, when that fight
incredible.
ended, he was conscious.
Yes.
He got it, like the dude has so much heart.
He was
He's on
so
the
happy
floor
that he had a broken
with a
jaw,
broken jaw, and he's like, "Whoa!" He was just happy to be a part of it.
And I was happy that I was happy for him because I had a lot of doubt, and he earned my respect.
Yes.
I'm a Jake Paul fan for sure. But let's just slow it down, fellas. Put the timeout, 30-second timeout. Who you gonna put him in there with? You said contending for a cruiser. Who's the
cruiserweight that just beat Badu Jack?
Yeah.
Noel McCallion.
Okay, give Jake Paul 4 or 5 more fights.
I think 4 or 5, and I think if you're going to do 4 or 5.
By the way, I don't disagree with that.
I think what you have to do right is get him ready for that. He has to be fighting
you'll see.
washed up cruiserweights, right? Get him ready for that.
I'm good with that.
Champions.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Shady, even you being good with that is a lot. It's Jake Paul. We're talking about him fighting real cruiserweight with real records and beating him.
Can he beat?
Naturally, the internet ran wild once the x-rays dropped. Jake posted the images himself, showing the 2 fractures clearly marked in red. But in classic Jake Paul fashion, he turned trauma into promotion. Alongside the injury photos, he joked about fighting Canelo Alvarez in 10 days. That's the same delusion Kellerman was talking about. Most people would be questioning their life choices after a double jaw fracture.